All right, welcome back to Black Medium, everybody, after a long hiatus. I'm your host, Gold Will.
With your boy Electronic Jack, aka Linwood Storm, aka the Mac with the facts from Black Grindhouse.
And this is absolutely our first take. We haven't...
This is definitely our first take, and I didn't call out nobody.
Right. So, how- how's your month been going so far?
You didn't even mention that it was Black History Month. How's my Black History Month going so far?
You know
and
what?
it is going well.
Every
right?
month is
I
Black
got the
History
imperfect
Month.
black
We
hat
make
that you can
history
find.
every
I
month.
got the imperfect black hat on that you can find at GameCargo.com. All right. I got the African pendant that all the true brothers wear. All right. Power to the people.
All right. We make history every month. All right. It shouldn't be February, the smallest month in the year. We make it every year. That's why
Every year.
I don't
All right.
I don't actually participate in saying Black History Month, and I didn't just forget to say it. All right. Every month is Black History Month.
You forgot to say it, people. You forgot to say it, people.
That's what I'm saying. Every month. All right. Martin Luther King Day was in January. What do you got to say about that? Every month is Black History Month.
Every month. All right.
It's crazy.
Go see Judas and the Black Messiah. All right. I'm going to see that tonight.
I should go see that one. I mean, I guess. I don't know. What is that about?
It is about Fred Hampton and how he was assassinated by our government, by the United States government.
I really don't think
America.
I don't think I'm going to watch that.
Why? I mean, too much black pain, too much black trauma.
It's a historical film, and I'm somebody who studies history just as a hobby, so I don't particularly think
I got Lakeith Stanfield in it, and the dude from Get Out. Got my
Daniel Kaluuya.
Got my boy Danny from Get Out. I can't pronounce the last name. I avoid pronouncing names now because when I try to pronounce strange names, foreign names, my bad. When I try to pronounce foreign names, I fuck up like 8 out of 10 times. So my boy Danny. My boy Danny, Black Danny.
Historical films just don't interest me that much since I just like to study the history themselves. And I do use a lot of scholarly articles and a couple deep cut sources to try and find my information rather than just watching a film. That's for the people who aren't interested in doing that.
Okay, are we talking about specifically Black history type films or
just historical films in general?
Goodfellas is historical.
Yeah, it's also massively entertaining. It's not a documentary.
How is this any different? This might be an entertaining film. Give it a try.
Like I wasn't looking at Goodfellas to learn anything. I don't know what else to tell you. Two Gun Tommy, like I wasn't going in there to learn about Tommy DeSimone. Fun fact actually about Tommy DeSimone, he disappeared 9 years after he killed Billy Batts.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he wasn't executed immediately as Goodfellas showed. It's just, for the film's sake. They just
So what you're saying is Gold Will of Black Medium. You are saying that you'll watch a white historical film, but not a black historical.
There's a difference between Goodfellas and other historical films.
You saw The Irishman, didn't you?
I mean, I watched The Irishman because I was like curious as to what it is. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and watch like a movie about Fred Hampton.
That's your man, Lady D. That's your man right there.
I'm going to be I'm going to be reading about Fred Hampton and other black figures, and that's how I prefer to get my black history. Like I thought I've already said this before, and I made my stance on this clear. Black creativity is not rooted in black pain, and
ain't nobody saying that though.
Like if I'm gonna watch a black film, right? I'm not trying to sit here and watch a historical black film. It's like, why not just read?
But if it's entertaining, it's entertaining. I thought the point of films are to be entertaining, not to teach.
I thought I made myself
I'm with
clear.
you on that. Like I'm not going into a film for the purpose of learning something. I'm going into a film for the purpose of being entertained. And if I learn something, then I learn something.
I made myself clear. Okay, black people are behind the ball.
Let me iterate. Let me. Yeah.
Right. Black people are behind the ball on creative.
Let me reiterate.
We're behind the ball on creative movies, okay? We're behind the ball making another historical drama and another historical drama and another historical drama.
What upcoming creative black films are coming out though?
Isn't isn't Jordan Peele making another film?
Yeah, but that's like
Those are
in the
creative films.
early stages. I'm
Right.
talking like
He's making
upcoming,
it
like something
upcoming, I believe the
like I
new
would put Malcolm and Mary on the list. Like I said, I enjoyed Malcolm and Mary. I don't know
Malcolm and
about
Marie.
other people, but I enjoyed Malcolm and Mary as a
I'll have to watch
toxic
it.
rom drama.
That's
But
something. I mean, for me personally, I think they should get off the ground. Okay. Okay, we're behind the ball
are you
still.
talking
Is
about
what
like fantasy and all of
yeah,
that?
we need to get off the ground. Okay, cool. Malcolm and Marie. What was that other one? Queen and Slim.
I
You
haven't
know,
seen that one because,
we
like you
need to.
said, it's rooted in black pain. And
Yeah, we
here's
just
the
need to
thing:
get off the ground a little
I
bit.
thought
That's
it was going to be a film about. I haven't seen the film. Disclaimer, but I thought it was going to be about. Okay, this couple shoots a police during a stop. You know, because the police was being a dickhead, and now they're on the run. And if that's what the entire movie is about, and not them, starting a revolution, then I'm good on that. Like I want to see us, actually pop. Oh no, officer down, officer down. Pop,
I
pop.
mean,
Another officer down. Pop, pop. Like white folks make those kind of movies all the time. Uwe Rampage. Replace the main character with a black protagonist, and I would watch the fuck out of that film. I would go to theaters and be like, yeah.
and that's what I mean. Like,
It's
we're
too risky
behind
though.
we're behind the ball. Like I said, what I was saying there. Like, you got a film that's coming out. What you call it? I don't know. Why can't there be like a film with a black protagonist like Baby Driver? Uh, why can't there be a film with a black protagonist that's
Let's be honest though, if
something?
there was a film with a black protagonist like Baby Driver, there would be some racial aspect involved, something involved.
Sure. Why? I mean, that's neither here nor there to talk about racism, because white films do that too. The X-Men movies, try to touch upon that.
Yeah, but
Uh,
the X-Men movies are allegories though. I'm talking about like something that's personal, something that if I go into a movie and I see a black protagonist and the black protagonist goes through some racial shit, I'm like, oh, I saw this coming. That's why I enjoyed what was that film? It's a zombie film. As a black guy, black main character. I, I'm gonna
I
just I'm gonna look it up real quick, but I think Nazi zombies.
Nazi zombies, huh?
Yeah,
That sounds
I can't
interesting.
believe I forgot its name because it's one of my favorite films. Um, Overlord, that's the name.
Overlord.
Came out in 2018. Black protagonist. This guy, he's not meek. He's not passive aggressive, but he's like, hey, I care about everything. But
Right.
when it came down to it, he was ready to kill. He was okay. I got to take charge now, and it wasn't any. It so it's basically. I would compare the protagonist to Finn, but here's the thing: if Finn was written well,
Right.
so, and the funny thing about it is both actors look identical. Not to a T, but they're very similar in their face.
Mhm.
So that's very ironic. But yeah, I want more films like Overlord. I want more films like yeah, I'm trying to think of another. I know you didn't like the film too much, but Dope. I thought Dope was a good film until they pulled the whole. Would you ask me that question if I was black? And I'm like, that wasn't
I,
really
I
the point.
didn't I didn't like Dope because I didn't feel the plot was coherent enough. I just
Really?
I don't know where we were. We started off with Bitcoin trading, then we got into a drug deal, then we got into this and that, and it didn't feel like one coherent plot as so much it was like a sequence of events that happened.
Yeah, but that's the point. I
Yeah,
love those kind of
it
movies.
felt
So
all over
maybe
the
that's just me.
place. Yeah,
Yeah,
it felt all over the place. Like, honestly, I
yeah.
didn't
So
think
if
it
you're
was a
not into
bad
that
film.
kind of stuff, then yeah, I completely understand. For me,
Yeah,
I like just seeing random stuff happening. Oh, now
right.
I gotta deal with this. Now I gotta deal with
And
that.
then the principal ended up being it was kind of like meh. It was all over the place, and I
I
didn't.
think the principal is a basketball player, actually.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
hate it,
I was
but
like, that's that dude.
yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was a bad film. I just didn't think it was an especially good film. It was well shot, well directed,
Hmm.
well acted. It's just like the plot was all over the place, and that ending part, it was hit or miss, to be honest, like depending on how you interpret it. But I was just like, it kind of didn't
For
need to
me,
be there.
it's kind of like how people feel about the Martha
That
moment,
just
where
didn't need to
when
be
you
in
could
the
have.
film.
See,
Yeah,
I enjoyed the Martha moment, but that's just me. But it's
right,
kind of like, for some people it was delivered poorly. So for some people, they just flat out didn't like it, and for
right,
some people, it was serviceable. For me, I felt okay. I got it. It's serviceable, but yeah, you could
right.
have done it better,
It was one of those ideas that made more sense on paper. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
or something that could have, or something that could have been the conclusion. Like the audience would already come to that conclusion
Like
on
the
their own
idea
instead of
of
being told that.
yeah, the idea of reminding the basically inhumane Batman in BVS that he has a human mother, and that Superman has a human mother, and they both share a same name, so in a way they share humanity. It clicks on paper, but the way they
Mhm.
executed it was just terrible.
Yeah,
Like so
it
I
could have
get
been a
how
lot
that,
better.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how I felt about the moment in Dope at the ending. I was just like, I get what they're going for on paper, but the way it came out was just eh. I'm not feeling it. But
Yeah.
either way, that's how, and that's the thing. Those types of movies, they just I mean, after I saw Menace to Society, really, I was done with coming of
Hood
age
films.
films. Yeah, I,
Okay.
I, I was done with those types of films. It's like Menace to Society for me was like the peak, because the
For
way
me,
that,
it's there's only so much you can do with
right,
um that theme.
exactly, and that's why I'm
There's only
like, which is
so many
actually,
places you can go.
which is why it's good that we're actually, like, we brought up these films. What you call it, Children of Blood and Bone, the book I told you about, is going to have a film adaptation, and I
Yep.
love that because I loved that book. It was magical. It had a lot of heart to it. I enjoyed a lot of the action sequences, and it's got magic as a central theme, but also it plays with discrimination as a theme as well, in an interesting way. So I like that one's going to be adapted. I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but she did sell the film rights, I believe, like last year. So hopefully something like that comes around in a film festival or whatever. But that's a film that I'm excited about. But generally, like, I really wish that if Black people are going to pull up their money and put their weight behind creative projects to put on the big screen, how about we get off figures like Harriet Tubman? How about we get off figures like Fred Hampton, the Alabama bombing? You know, I'm not saying we shouldn't make these films. I'm just saying that
I think there's
there's
room. There's room.
there's a ton of ideas out there that you guys can execute, that you just need to try. Just because it doesn't quote unquote sound Black or whatever the hell, blah blah blah, just give it a shot, please.
Or you could do both. Lovecraft Country does both.
Right,
It's a
Lovecraft
science
Country is
fiction,
crazy.
fantasy, action. Have you seen it
Yeah,
yet?
I've seen parts of it. That shit was crazy when I saw. I think it
Yeah.
was the finale, and I was like, "What's going on here?"
Time travel, parallel universes, all of that.
Yeah, if you're gonna
A
play with those
lot.
concepts, at
Yeah.
least like give me something interesting to look at. I read depressing shit in the historical research that I
That
do all the time.
The Tulsa massacre is a major part in the show, and a lot of people didn't know about it until they saw that scene.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Entertain me and then teach me.
Exactly. See, like, you get what I'm saying. Like I said,
Yep.
well, I'm sure people are not going to agree with what I'm saying. They're like, we need to learn, and there's people out there who need to
I think
learn.
the
Blah,
older
blah,
generation is not going to agree with what you're
blah.
saying. The older
Absolutely.
generation is like, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Well, you can just pick up a fucking book.
Right. Like, but
Excuse my
it
French,
says
but
it says something about us that we have to look at this, like, learn all this through movies and TV shows, right? Like, people learned about the Tulsa massacre through Watchmen. I was like,
Mhm.
really?
Yeah, for
I've known
us,
about
it's
that.
like we've been known about that stuff. Like
Right.
for everybody else, like I had no idea this happened.
Right. The Tulsa race riots is something I learned about a few years. I think it was like 5 years
Like that.
ago.
That shit they
It's
ain't gonna teach
crazy.
in school unless you go
Exactly.
to a black school, and
Which
then maybe if the teacher decides to.
yeah, that depends on which teacher you get. And that's
Yep.
the thing. Like we need to encourage more learning history through reading uh, and less through watching. Like I know we have really short attention spans with I'm about to sound
And
like a boomer.
keep in mind. I just want to say it has nothing to do with being black. It's just that's well, we just consume media more through movies and television nowadays, or audiobooks. I say if you don't like reading, if you don't have the time to read, just listen to an audiobook.
I listen to audiobooks. Actually, I'm listening to American Gods right now. And that's a story, all right. Oh man.
See, I didn't listen to the audiobook. I actually have both the books, the American Gods and the Anansi story. And yes,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy right now. So what you call it? But that's my thoughts on that, honestly. Like I feel like if we're gonna put our weight behind a project, like I said, Jordan Peele's been doing it. I mean, Get Out was basically like it had sci-fi elements at the ending, where they were transferring bodies, and it was horror it used a different type of horror than normal slasher gore and whatnot. It was more of a racial horror type of thing. That was interesting. Us is a thing that happened. Um,
I
you
didn't
know,
like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jordan
you know,
Peele's my man. He came out with a 10 out of 10 movie. Get Out was a 10 out of 10 movie, but us, nah.
I mean, I think that he's still. It's good to make the attempt. Like
I agree.
It wasn't something. Say drive-by shooting or that racial this that and the third blah blah blah. Like we get it, all right. We've been here. We've been here. We've been here a thousand times before. We've been here.
Hmm.
So I think Jordan Peele gets it. The new Blade movie, if I'm not mistaken, Mahershala got a writer from God. What? I mean, it kills me. He got a
I
black
think
woman writer. I
Watchmen.
just
Watchmen.
was it
I
Watchen's
think.
writer? Yes, it was
I'm
Watchmen.
not sure. You got it? Okay.
Let me see. Let me just confirm. Um, that's a good one. Uh, really though? Blade writer, if I'm not mistaken. Oh damn, she's a two. Oh no, that's what you call it. Making sure and Nia DaCosta for Craft and Marvel 2.
Do you need any help?
Yes, that's correct. She did watch the HBO's Watch, or she did write the HBO's Watchmen. Okay, that is correct. What you call it? So, yeah, we're getting there. We're putting our weight behind more interesting projects. Right now, I think a lot of more Black creativity is being focused in comic books, which is great. I think from the comic books are going to come from more animated features, and hopefully from either the comic books or novels we're going to have more adaptations of Black works, um and we'll see where it goes from there. So I'm excited to see what happens from that front. But anyways, let's get into the reason why we're actually here. Speaking of Black professionals like directors and movie writers and actors and all that other stuff, we're actually talking about professionalism.
Hmm.
So was that last week or just a few days ago, I got into a discussion slash
I
back
don't
and
know. It
forth.
seemed kind of it seemed kind of heated.
I
Seemed
mean,
kind of heated.
so
I had my popcorn. I was like, okay, okay.
the
Let's
premise was that I
continue.
was in a thread, and it was just a fairly innocuous post where somebody put up that new Jake from State Farm, where he which call it was in his office uniform, and then which call it the other
Yeah,
picture
yeah.
was him hanging out with Drake in a parking lot somewhere, and then it said if code switching was a picture. And I put up there, a comment that was more of a clarifying comment because I feel like people are immediately jumping to conclusions here. I said, it isn't necessarily code switching so much as maintaining your workplace professionalism. And I got a bit of blowback for that. And I don't quite know where the blowback came from. So,
You already know. You already know.
well, it
Certain
seems
type of melanated people believe that if you dress well, if you speak well, if you aspire to be great, then you aspire to be white. Then you're trying to copy a Eurocentric standard.
right. Well, sort of. I'm not gonna say I co-sign entirely with that, but
90%.
I do I do understand what they're trying to say, but I feel like it was misguided. What you call it? So, uh, and this is gonna be a two-parter. This first one's gonna be me and you here, and we're gonna have a second discussion on this with a couple more quote unquote professionals, because I don't think you can describe you as professional. Uh,
That is funny.
so
How long did it take you to get this recording started?
it's because somebody was popping the fuck off.
Melanin Madre and I are putting out projects, and it's been a while. It's been a while. We
It's been
waiting
a
on
while. It's
you.
been a
You
while.
playing catch
Okay,
up.
you know,
We ain't
look,
professionals, but you playing catch up. Okay.
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 Anyways, I'll take that. That. You know what? That's legit. No. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, what you call it? Fuck you, nigga.
That's not professional. Isn't
I'm
that
just
what we're
saying.
talking?
So I feel
I made a concerned criticism, and you just like, I'm gonna have to call HR. I'm gonna have you written
okay.
up.
Call him. You want the
Go on, tell
number?
me what I said. Tell me what I said.
Yeah.
Go
So
on, go on. What you were about to say? Go on, go on.
so I feel like professionalism is being misunderstood here, because I don't. There's a lot of people who jumped in there, including our good friend Duran, who jumped in there saying, no, there's tenets of professionalism that is anti-black, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And like being professional is this, that, and the third. And, that's what code switching is, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I had to say, like, there's gonna come a time where you're working at a job with a contract that you designed or you signed, and you're gonna have to dress a certain way. You're gonna have to address customers a
Keep
certain
in
way.
mind that you were going back and forth with the same dude who says he's not a capitalist, but he contributes to capitalism. So
Don't make that argument. That's not a very good argument to make.
okay, so okay, that's another topic that we're gonna have to discuss.
That
But
is
okay.
not that's not a good argument to make, because you can't quite not participate in capitalism while trying to combat capitalism. He still has to eat, leave, live, and all that
My
other shit.
mistake. Capitalize on capitalism.
I mean,
Is that
hey,
better?
it is what it
Is
be.
that better?
Welcome to America. So, anyways, I would
I'm just saying because he calls me a capitalist, and I'm wondering how is he any different than I?
I mean, depends on how one would identify. But okay, so
I identify as a dolphin. Go on.
don't make that joke. So don't offend our
2021. Go on.
don't offend our trans audience out here.
Oh, I
LGBT
love my trans people. All right. I
trans
love my
rights.
trans people. All right.
Anyways, like I
Like
said,
some of these trans women be looking better than the biological women. Like I'm like, damn. Is it the makeup or y'all just born that way? Go on.
so
Don't judge me. Go on.
ignoring that comment, because I don't know what to say to it. What do you feel? What do you feel like? What do you hold on? What are we going to define professionalism as, and where does code switching? Let's just try to define both terms. Okay. So first, code switching. I know what I say it is. Code switching is when you have to switch up demeanor, words, or behaviors in a situation as I would describe it more as a survival tactic than I
I'll put it
would.
to you like this. When I'm in a Zoom meeting with fellow colleagues and freelancers and clients, I'm not calling them nigga. I'm not
Right,
saying, man, my nigga, you late on the delivery.
right, right, right. Like
You're
code
supposed to have
switching.
them files by Wednesday. What you color people time is real. Damn. I'm not talking like that.
Code switching is when you change your behavior to make someone comfortable, right? That's what I would consider code switching generally. Like you're trying to make someone comfortable. You're clear as to what would make this person uncomfortable, and you try not to do those behaviors despite your own nature. That is what I would consider code switching, right? So now professionalism, professional is just, how would you describe it?
It's relative. Depends on the
Relative, right?
workplace.
Right. It depends on
Some
where you work.
workplaces have the mini basketball hoop set up.
Mhm.
Swiss, it's not out of place. But if you bring that into some workplaces, it's gonna be like, man, if you're supposed to be working, well, I'm finished with my work, then go do something else.
Right.
Stop playing ball. But I'm on my break.
Discipline, right? We could say discipline, right? Competence, confidence, and ability to execute the job, right? That's all things professional. At least that's what I would describe. Basic traits of professionalism: being able to do a lot of things, but ultimately being competent at your job. Yeah, just being able to execute it competently. Like that's what I would consider professionalism.
Mhm.
So you can see in certain places, right? There are areas where code switching and professionalism may overlap, right? Like at an office building per se,
Mhm.
people feel like they're working around non people outside of their group, let's say, right? You feel like you shouldn't say nigga, like you just shouldn't call them that. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. But again, I think it's relative because even my personal workspace or workplace, I wouldn't want someone unless I was extremely familiar with them and that's how we speak. Even if we work together, I wouldn't want them calling me a nigga because
Right.
that wouldn't be professional to me. That's
Right.
given the history behind that word.
That's fair enough. I
It,
mean,
it goes back to the whole there are black people who don't want to be called a nigga. Simple as
correct.
that. So
There are
again,
definitely
I
a lot of
think
black
I think
people.
it's all relative. For I'm gonna use them as example. For Duran's gym, you might be able to come in there, you see all the Black Panther posters all around, all the whole aura. They may be speaking like that. So it might, saying that word or dressing a certain way may not be out of place. But if you come to a different type of gym, for sake of argument, a uh, a Eurocentric gym, they're not going to play that.
I mean,
Especially the gyms. What Planet Fitness, where if you let's say you got this really heavy weight, they got the lunkhead alarm. All right, if you're screaming too loud, they'll kick you out.
I didn't know that. That seems a little.
Yeah, look it up. Look at the lunkhead alarm. Let me see here. I
That's
know it seems harsh, right?
that does seem kind of dumb. If I'm paying, don't you have to pay to go to
Yep,
Planet
lunkhead
Fitness?
alarm. Planet Fitness. If I'm paying you, I should be able to scream this pain off as no. It's called the lunk alarm. My bad. It's called the lunk alarm.
That's crazy. I mean,
And by the way, if you drop weights, they sound the alarm as well. So you can't even like if you're grunting, if you're dropping the weight too loudly,
okay. Well, where do you fall? Do you think that so this one spun out of the idea that professionalism is anti-black. Like, can you see
it's
anywhere
not.
where I'm trying to see where that would even come into play? Because I understand what our friend was trying to say there. I guess it feels like the
It
European
was
beauty.
one-sided. I get what he's trying to say, but
Right,
part of it it's he's referring to Eurocentric standards
right,
or preferences, kind of like how some jobs might not hire you. They won't tell you, but they might not hire you if you have dreads or cornrows. Excuse my language, locks.
correct,
They're not going to hire you if you could have a chain around it, even if it's a small change underneath the shirt. They're like, you don't represent the company the way we want, you to. And this is going to be a bit controversial, but There's nothing wrong with that.
Hold up.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'll say it again. There's nothing wrong with every company
Wait,
has their own set of standards.
hold on. Wait. I gotta push back on that. So you're saying that if somebody has locks and they're not hired because they have locks, you're saying there's nothing wrong with that?
I'm saying that you shouldn't want to work there in the first place.
I'm not saying, look, fuck that. That's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, are you saying that the
No,
way
do I
your
find it
air comes out
wrong?
of your
I find it
scalp?
I find it wrong. Here's the thing: I find it wrong, but I would also turn away someone, let's say a black guy or a white guy, if they had a face full of tattoos. I don't want them
Okay,
representing
that's
my
different.
company in that sense.
Tattoos,
How is it different? How is
tattoos
it
are
different?
something you willingly get put on your skin. Okay,
And
locks
you
are just the.
willingly lock your hair as well.
Okay, that's fair.
Here's
That's
the thing.
fair. That's fair.
Before we continue, I just want to say that I don't care. I don't care what tattoos you have on because I got tattoos. I don't care if you have dreads. I don't care if you have locks. I don't care if you have locks. I don't care if you have cornrows. That's just me. Now, it, it I'm here's the throwback. That one video. I'm not sure if you saw it, but they had the girls twerking on the table at the black restaurant. And then the manager came in. He was like, man, he gave them warning. He's like, look, this is a place where black folks can be
I'm just trying
classy,
to figure
feel
out what
good
this has
about
to do with
themselves.
locks.
Stop twerking on my table.
I'm just trying to figure out what this has to do because locks is just a hairstyle. You know, it's
No,
the
I'm
hair
talking
growing out
about
of your scalp.
professionalism and how you want
Okay,
your place to be
okay, we'll
represented.
get back on that one. I'm just saying, what
Here's
about
the thing. No,
locks?
but here's the thing.
Oh
Here's
Christ!
the thing. I'm not talking about professional. Right, I'm talking about representation. Here's
Right?
the thing. To us, locks is just the hairstyle. All right.
Correct.
To white people, it ain't. And
Okay, but
if a white owner wants their company to appeal to white people, they're probably not going to hire a person with.
I can't excuse that one. I'm not, but we gonna have to
I'm
agree.
speaking from the perspective of a lot of white owners.
I mean, please don't be a white man here. We're just
When did I say I was a white man?
no, I'm just saying,
I said I was
you're
speaking from
speaking
the
in.
perspective of how a lot of
Yeah,
owners,
I know,
how
but
a lot
just
of white
let's
owners
just well,
feel.
we can't excuse people not getting hired for locks. Let's just go there, okay?
But it
I'm not gonna
happens,
agree
and
with
it
that.
still happens.
I mean, it does happen, but that's kind of shitty, you know. Just like racism still happens, but that's kind of
And it will
shitty,
always happen. Racism will always exist. People are
right?
hiring you
But
because
we can't
you may have a
endorse
butterfly
that.
tattoo. I never said I was endorsing it.
I'm just saying, you said like you understand people
I
not
said I
getting.
understand the representation aspect of it. And if I go into a place of business and I want a job there, and they're like, you don't really represent what how we feel the company's appearance. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm out. Now the second they tell me, mm, now you got a lawsuit on your hands. Oh, it's because I got cornrows now. Okay, all right, cool. I'm gonna see you in court. But yeah, that's the reality. That's how things work.
Um.
I'm not arguing whether it's right or wrong. I'm telling you about the reality of it.
Okay, but you were saying you understand that. Whatever.
Yeah, I said I'll understand it. I didn't say I condoned it. There's a difference between
Got you.
saying I understand, as in I comprehend why companies do it. All right.
Mhm.
Look up the
Right.
definition, understand, and
Uh-huh.
I condone. I never said condone. I never said
Okay.
accept it.
As long as we make
All
that
right.
okay. Well,
I'm just
anyways,
saying.
okay, but I'm saying, I can't see locks as unprofessional, you know. I
Because you're
I'm just
black.
I mean, it's a hairstyle. Okay?
You're black. That's why you can't see it as a professional.
Like I've seen people with ridiculous hair in a professional environment. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you got
Were they white?
yeah.
Ooh, I bet they knew someone too. I bet they had a few references as well.
That's not the point.
But
Anyways,
here's the thing. Yeah, the point is that they're still
we are
white.
so off the topic, man.
Go on, go on. I'll
I'm not
stop
trying to go
interrupting.
back
I'll
and
stop.
forth.
I'll stop
Yeah,
interrupting.
I'm not back and forth with this on
Go
you.
on.
What you call it? So, all right. So professionalism can be attained through it's not an aesthetic. That's basically what I want to say. it's not an aesthetic. It's not solely an aesthetic. There's a lot of layers to professionalism that I don't think certain people are grasping. Like, you know, for instance, what we do, if we had a bit of a bigger audience, let's say a better example, you heard of the Bodega Boys,
No.
Deezus and Mero, they're pretty popular.
Vaguely. They do those skits, the comedy skits.
No, they were podcasters. They had a show on Vice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, my brothers played those videos. Yeah.
Right.
I don't really watch them, but yeah, I've overheard. Yeah. What about 'em?
Well, they would be considered professionals. I mean, they have a show on Vice right now. They had I believe
Vice
they
is a
were on.
pretty liberal company, but go on.
What does that mean?
Means that they're gonna allow certain type of people on there that other companies probably wouldn't.
The fuck? What do you wait, what?
Do you
What
do
is
you
this
do you
nonsense?
follow Vice? Do you follow? Well, you said you said yeah they're considered professional on Vice. I'm saying yeah, I understand that.
I mean,
Of course,
hold
they would
on.
be considered professional on Vice.
I I mean, they were on other networks too.
MTV, VH1.
No. What? Let's see. Hold on. Where are they on? They're on Showtime. Yeah, they're on Showtime right now. And I believe previously they were on. Yeah, this is Viceland. Yeah, so they're currently on Showtime right now. Is that also a liberal network?
I never said it was. I said Vice was. But go on.
Okay. Anyways, they would be considered professionals in their current field, would they not? I mean, they've got a lot of experience being on Complex, Vice, Showtime. I mean, they have a lot of experience doing this, and generally, I mean, how they present themselves is more of an urban appeal, whatnot. I mean, you know, I'm not up and up on fashion trends, but I'm just saying sneakers, jeans, sweaters, like there's no college shirts, ties going on there, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
would be considered professionals in the field of being late night show hosts. The same as somebody like a Stephen Colbert or uh, Jimmy Fallon. They'd be in the same ballpark. But all three of these people have different attires aesthetically, but are all considered professionals because of what they do and how they do it, as opposed to what we would consider amateurs, which is me and you. I mean, it is what it is. You
Go
know,
on.
uh, basically what I'm saying is, people have to look past what they would consider professionalism as simply an aesthetic, or else they're going to be stuck in the idea that they can never be professional because there's only one standard for professionalism based on, I guess, a European standard. You would just, college shirts, speaking in a white voice, which call it, funnily enough, was which call it the subject of Sorry to Bother You, at least part of it, you know, but there's more to it. Anything?
Oh, I'm just waiting till you were on a roll. I'm letting you go.
Uh, Go speak words.
No, what's the question?
What do you define professionalism as?
I defined it as what's relative in the field and what's relative in the company. Simple as that.
Right. I was looking for some back and forth conversation there. Anyways, which
I
call?
gave you a lot, and you were like, no.
Oh my God, have you lost your touch? Anyways,
I
which
mean, I
call?
can go harder. I can go harder. Trust me.
Please do
Oh, you sure?
speak.
All right, cool. I just want to know if I'm off the lease. I just want to know if I'm off the lease. Okay, go on. Like I said, it's all relative. Like
Right. Okay.
same
So,
thing with that. For example, same thing with the whole Gina Carano situation. Gina Carano was cast out for not being professional. So
that was very interesting. That was her public persona was just at least what you're putting out. That's another thing. People gotta realize, like, your Facebook, your Twitter, and all that. That is like you standing on a soapbox and saying things. It can have ramifications more than it used to. It can't be just a shit poster on the internet with the public persona. You gotta have a Heidi for that.
That's what I'm saying. In her fields, he wasn't being professional.
Right.
Now she's in another. She's still doing movies, by the way, but she's doing movies with Ben Shapiro for Daily Wire.
So she's
Pretty
not
much,
doing movies.
see what I mean? I'm
I'm,
trying to make a point here.
I'm, not, I'm taking shots all day.
You
I'm sorry.
can take shots at the man, but I'm about to make a point. She's
no,
still in the movie and TV industry.
Right.
She's just working for another company now.
Right.
Another company that for her voice, for her opinions and all that, it's professional. But for Disney, it wasn't professional.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You can be in the same field, but for the company you're working at, what you're doing, how you're rolling, it's not professional.
Right. And let's say, do you think that somebody else could have gotten away with those comments? Like maybe
with similar comments, or just?
I mean, we saw what happened to Nick Cannon. We saw what happened to Nick Cannon when he
when Nick Cannon folded like a bitch.
I mean, he's still holding out.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I do not agree with Nick Cannon at all. I'm not with the whole anti-Semitic shit. No.
Right. And he said some crazy.
But I just thought it was funny how strongly he felt about what he was saying. And then as soon as he lost this shit, it's like, oh, you know what? I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I'm going to try to work hard to understand their history and all of that. You're like, you damn.
I mean, he was
it took you losing all your shit just to learn your lesson.
That's what I mean. Professionalism takes all forms, and you have to conduct yourself in a certain way when you represent people. That doesn't necessarily.
That's all I've been saying. That's all I've been saying. Like I said, let's say Nick Cannon was working for Umar Johnson. Let's say Umar Johnson owned Wild 'N Out. If Nick Cannon sent those same comments,
he'd probably be able to skate right by, right? Yeah,
exactly.
That's the thing. He's considered a professional. Like, let's take another celebrity who has a pretty loud opinion streak. Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is known on Twitter for saying quite a few things.
Is pretty much on the fence. I don't think Samuel L. Jackson has had a very strong controversial opinion.
Right. He just said fuck Trump a lot. Like he said that a lot.
Yeah, but a lot of people say fuck Trump. That's why it's not.
Yeah, that's why it wasn't controversial. It wasn't controversial.
When the majority, that's what I'm saying. When the majority is saying this, anything outside the majority is going to be deemed controversial. Even if you can make certain points, it's still going to be deemed controversial. That's why I brought up Gina Carano. Gina Carano is not the only actor on that. Wasn't the only actor on that. So making comparisons to the Holocaust, she wasn't. So the fact that she was targeted, it like I said, Disney has a history of doing that, where they're like, "Oh shit, this girl is bad this girl is representing our company in a negative light." So now,
well, yeah, I mean that those comments, like, that's the thing about it. You become sort of representation for your company, and having people like that on your payroll, it's can be seen as tacit endorsement. Like, do you agree with that?
I agree.
Oh, like that could be seen as tacit endorsement, and Disney hasn't been known for being anti-Semitic, so
wink, wink.
So they don't want that on their resume. They certainly haven't ever been racist before.
Disney didn't give a flying F word when Gina Carano was saying. No, Gina Carano didn't say it, but Gina Carano liked a tweet that pretty much said systematic racism doesn't exist, and XYZ politics and blah blah blah. Like,
I've never seen anything racist come out of Disney.
Nothing like that. Nothing racist.
Absolutely nothing racist. Like, I think Disney has had a a perfectly squeaky clean record when it comes to racism, anti-Semitic, sexism, all of that. I think honestly, they have a very clean slate. So uh when you have people like that who represent you, you have to go ahead and bring the hammer down, or else you're
Hmm.
going to be setting a bad example. Oh, did we just get off track? I'm sorry. Either way, professionals in different fields, they have different ways of presenting themselves, carrying themselves, and executing their jobs. Let's stick with Hollywood for a second, right? Professional directors are known to be kind of shitty sometimes. Famously,
Joss Whedon.
Stanley Kubrick was notoriously hard to work with. Like, I forgot. Right. I mean, what you call it? The Shining. The woman actually was legitimately panicked in that iconic scene where he broke through the door, because I think they did the scene 27 times, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. She was frustrated as all hell. So that response that she gave was real. And the frustration was coming from working with Stanley fucking Kubrick, right?
Yeah.
Like this is how people carry themselves. And the thing is, it depends on the field you're in. Again, um, wouldn't you say Tarantino would be an interesting guy to work with? You know, he's had his moments.
Tarantino has only had, I believe, one complaint, and that came from what's Uma? What's her last name? Star of
Uma,
Kill Bill.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman,
Mhm.
and they did this scene. It was a driving scene. You know, when Kill Bill went, you had the driving scene, and she's narrating,
Right.
and something happened, and she ended up in the hospital, I believe, and that's because Quentin Tarantino really wanted the take, and he didn't take the necessary precautions. So,
Right.
when years later, when she spoke on that, that kind of casted um, Quentin Tarantino in negative light.
Right. Still seen as a professional. And then there's some
Still seen as a
actors.
professional.
Right. There's actors who are terrors on the set.
But now keep in mind, he's still seen as a professional because of his work.
Right. That's
If
what I
he
mean.
would have,
You are
if he was a horrible filmmaker
He'd still be
and that
professional.
came out,
Hold on.
his
Zack
career would
Snyder
have
makes
probably been
terrible
ending.
films. Okay, he makes bad films.
Subjective.
No,
Let's not get
no.
into that.
That's
Subjective.
the all right.
There are
Anyways,
Zach. Here's the thing. Even if I thought that Zack Snyder was a terrible filmmaker, here's the thing. I know worse filmmakers, but even
okay,
if I
yeah,
thought that
sure.
Zack Snyder was a terrible filmmaker, he has a fan base that says otherwise. So that makes it subjective. It's the majority
Right.
of people do not think that Zack Snyder is a terrible filmmaker.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. A lot of people believe some unbelievable shit, but that's not the point. Okay, the
Again,
point
it's subjective. Art is
it,
subjective.
it is
Like
subjective. All right, look,
it's subjective.
I
That's all. That's
absolutely
all I'm
agree.
saying. I'm saying,
I agree.
let's
I
get
agree
back
with
on
you.
track.
I'm
No
not.
more,
I'm
no
going.
more Snyder hate, because I know you'll turn this whole podcast into a damn. He fucked up
No,
Man of
not at all.
Steel.
I have never been against Zack Snyder in my life. What are you talking about? Okay. Okay. So, Zack Snyder, he doesn't, in my opinion, subjectively, he doesn't make good films. Still seen as professional. Actors like, I'm gonna
But
kind of
here's another thing. Here's another reason why he's also still seen as professional. A lot of people love working with him as well.
right. And then I was gonna go on to actors, which call it notorious. Actually, I'm gonna kind of shit on one of my favorite actors, Will Smith.
Ooh.
Apparently, on The Fresh Prince, was a bit of a jokey joker. He's the reason why the original Aunt Viv left.
Okay, so here's the thing. Other cast members have also complained about the original Aunt Viv.
Oh
In
yeah,
fact,
yeah, yeah.
Carlton, the Alfonso Ribeiro did a stand up,
Mm-hmm.
and he was basically saying, she was a B word to work with, like.
Yeah. I mean, she was
And keep in mind, she's old school, so that's why a lot of people are
she
gonna
was
feel that way.
classically
She's very
trained.
serious. So if you're just goofing off and you're relaxed, he's gonna be like, "This is not how we did it back in my day."
Yeah,
You
Jeanette
know,
Hubert Witten. Yeah, she's a classically trained actress if I remember it
that's what I'm
correctly.
saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
So, I get that, and she could be a pain, and the same thing. Like, she also broke her contract getting pregnant, but what'd you call it?
That's crazy. That's fucked up.
That
Like
was
you can
actually the
break a
real reason why
contract
she
like
got
that.
canned. But
Like I understand. Again, this is one of those things that I understand. Like getting pregnant during a season or so and all that.
mhm,
I understand it. It's just messed up
it is
how
kind of
that they're technically controlling your body.
technically, yeah, that is pretty
Yeah.
shitty. But there are some actors. Who else? What was his name? Was it Christian Bale? Christian Bale, when he wild out on the home dude
You're not
on the
acting
set.
like a professional. Speaking of
Relevant.
professional, I like how we got into
It was like,
the
relevant.
rant about being a professional.
Right. So, like, there's different looks to professionalism, and there's different black people in each field who act professionally in different ways. Like, a professional graphic artist is not going to look the same as a professional insurance agent. You
Of
can be
course.
black in both. You could be a professional musician. You're not going to be suit and tie everywhere. This, that, and third. That has nothing to do with fucking code switching. Like, code switching is something very specific. Like, when you're around, I guess I'll just say when you're around white people and your slang doesn't hit very well with them, and it doesn't. And
What's that? That Earl Sweatshirt said, "Too black for the white kids and too
and
white
too
for the
white for
black
the
kids."
blacks. Yes. You understand that communication in your standard way of communicating, like if you have a heavy uh, Southern accent, generally is the one that gets picked on because it's the closest to AAVE.
Yeah.
Because, fun fact, they're virtually the same. Sorry, is that a hot take? It I mean, the
Nah, nah.
southern accents came from the slaves. So either way,
I mean, it's fact. So
it is facts. But I think people, there is a bit of controversy there. You have Southern congressmen like John Kennedy, Ted Cruz, John Cornyn, uh, idiots like fucking Greg Abbott, who have Texas accents. That you need your last haul type people,
mhm.
but they're seen as more professional. But if a black person who speaks in AAVE were in a high capacity role,
You also have
speaking in
to
high
keep in
capacity,
mind that it's close to slave dialect, which is very racist if you think about it.
right?
Because when white people hear a black person with a southern draw, what are they going to think about? Oh, back in slavery, out in the hot sun, used to speak like that. It's
Right.
ridiculous.
It is, and that's the thing. I get where part of that is coming from, and around certain people, you can't communicate the way you want to, like I said. So you would have to hide your accent. Um, like, for instance, I've met with people who have met
Well, I think
dollars during that whole Amway thing, and at the time I was still speaking. Actually, I've always spoke with a proper enunciation for most of my life. It's only recently that my northern accent has become way more prominent because,
that's what Duran is speaking toward the whole hiding your accent to
yeah,
appeal to white people in a professional setting
right.
when
That's
you shouldn't have to.
legitimate code switching, and
Yeah.
I feel like that comes from a place of a lack of confidence in a lot of situations because, as I said, my accent has become a lot more prominent in recent years, and I still talk to people in a professional setting the exact way I talk now.
Hmm.
Of course, being professional, I'm not gonna say nigga. I'm gonna try and enunciate my ings a lot better, my ers, my a's, you know, because there's something I want to prevent or present professionally, not because I'm trying to hide who I am, but there's a time and place to speak formally and informally.
Hmm.
And if I'm trying to do business or speak with somebody in a professional capacity, that's a formal speaking setting. Like,
This just reminds me of what I told you about my first interaction with demigod Mike, where I was very formal in the messy. It's like, man, just relax, chill, you know.
Be who you are. Yeah, yeah. You
But
got to be formal in those
here's the
messages.
thing. That's
Yeah,
how I speak when how I wrote to him is how I speak when I'm trying to be professional, you know.
exactly. Like you're trying to come off as
But
legit.
but here's the thing that just goes to show you that certain black people feel like if you're speaking that way, then you're not being who you are. If I'm speaking properly, I feel like I'm being who I am, but I'm just speaking
Right.
properly. That's all I am. Then
You're being
now,
professional to
but
convey a message.
I'm not gonna call a random black guy my nigga if I don't know him. Hell, I don't even do that right now. But
Right.
you know
That's what I mean. You're being professional to convey a message. There's a
exactly.
different, like there is a difference between that and code switch. Again, most people feel as though in a professional environment, you have to code switch. You have to give up how you speak. But I don't think they're this is my take on this. I don't think they're able to delineate what is a formal and an informal time to communicate. Like in a meeting, a staff meeting, to talk with everybody. I'd actually say that's a 50-50 most of the
Mhm.
time. You could either speak formally or informally. But for me, if I'm trying to be taken seriously by people in a company, I'm definitely not going to be, using my slang. Some might be calling
But
that
keep in mind, people, there are certain people, and I'm not going to say that Duran's one of these people, but there are people who feel like if you're speaking to appeal to a certain type of person,
mhm, that would be code switch.
not so much code switching, but like I said, selling out. Like you're trying to be more than you should be, so to say.
I mean, but uh, you had mentioned that in our private messages. Do you think that what you call it?
I
What
mentioned a lot in
you,
the private
right?
messages.
I was just, yeah, I was just talking about that. All right. You want me to go into your bizarre sex fantasies?
Oh no,
Oh,
please,
okay.
not on this podcast. Not on
Okay,
this
okay,
podcast.
okay. But yeah, what you call it? Maybe you should do another episode of Behind Closed Doors. Anyways,
Oh
um,
my god. Yeah, before I forget, there's no beef between he and I. There's no beef between Sam and I. No.
have
He
you
doesn't know
spoken
this, but
recently?
this
Oh,
no. But I've decided to end the beef. After
okay,
so many years, I've decided to end the beef. It's over.
okay, okay. Well, make sure you message him, let him know.
He doesn't know. He's not gonna know. But I
Uh,
got no problem with him.
no beef, no squash. But you mentioned in the private messages that people have called you a sellout. What did they call you a sellout
No,
about?
well, what I said was I believe I said something about certain family members calling me a sellout because I'm
Really?
have some pride in yourself, dress properly. Look, you got stains on your shirt, you pick another shirt. That's basically it. Like I said, and I do this with relationships as well. That's why I'm very picky with the women in my life. But I feel like the people around you represent you as well. So I'm not hanging out with someone who's like, man, is drinking a 40, man, nigga. Boss man, let me go. I was just smoking a little bit of weed on my break. I'm not hanging out with those types. I'm sorry. If that makes me a sellout, then that makes me a sellout. I was called a sellout because I didn't want to date a woman who had a record.
Well,
She wasn't a she went to no, she had a she got a plea deal, but she basically drove her boyfriend to oh, is he here? Lady D here?
you made me hear yes.
So here's the story. She at, at at the time she was dating the dude. She drove her boyfriend to a bank. Dude robbed the bank, and they got caught. And she took a plea deal as the accomplice, even though she had no idea what was going on. And that was the story that she told me. But for me, I just didn't want to date anyone with a record. I'm sorry. All right,
Okay,
and
that's a little
it
much, but
here's the thing: if you have a record, it better be for something like embezzling, something smart, but not being an accomplice and you didn't even make no money. Like, I'm sorry. Like I said, it's all about for me. It's all about if all you if all you're around are drug dealers and all that, and especially if you ain't really making that much money, like you're gonna be embarrassing me and putting me in a bad light.
I
You're
do
gonna be
think
like,
that
man,
curating your circle is something that you should do. I mean, I don't hang around people who, uh, you know,
Yeah, you
uh,
do.
do gangster shit. Like, I don't know what I could say that wouldn't be derogatory, but like the people I hang around with are fairly similar to myself, similar interests and whatnot.
Here's
So
what I will say: if you're doing that kind of stuff, don't let me know about it. Do it behind closed doors. If you know I'm the type of person that don't be into that kind of stuff, then don't tell me about it, or keep it to yourself. Or if you feel like it's going to interfere, then you can let me know. But
what if you find out about it?
and when particular, give me an example. Like,
Like,
what if I find out that
say
one of
you
my
find
friends,
out, say you find
one of my
out your
friends
friend is doing a drug deal, like, you
is
just see
an
him on the corner.
illegal drug dealer.
Yeah,
It's an illegal drug deal because keep in mind that you can sell
that
drugs
man
in
is
certain
selling
states.
heroin. He's selling that white. All right, you just happen to catch him doing a street
I
deal.
would
You
have
just,
to cut ties. I'm sorry. I would.
okay. Damn.
I'm sorry. I don't care if he's one of those friends who's like, man, you need rent. Here's the whole year. I'm sorry. I just can't take that kind of money
I mean,
twice.
shit. Okay, so you just cut.
Are you had a different opinion?
I
Like,
don't think I necessarily have a different opinion. I mean, I agree with the sentiment, but still, it kind of like, it's, I don't know.
it really depends on the level too. Like, if you're a criminal and you've been caught,
Well,
then I already know that there are going to be eyes on you, which means that there are going to be eyes on me, and I can't have that. But if you're
I'm pro
like,
drugs, so
man, I got this whole scheme set up, I got folks running these stolen cars here, and they don't even
yeah.
know it's me. Like, I'm behind the scenes. They think I'm a girl named Tiffany. I'm like, oh, so that's smart.
Well, the
I'm
thing is,
like,
yeah,
okay,
I
cool.
mean, I'm pro drugs, so I probably wouldn't
Of course you
so,
are.
yeah. Look, my stance on that is pretty clear. I don't think drugs should be
I got a
illegal.
question.
So.
Since it's Black History Month, why do you have white Wonder Woman right beside you? Why not Black Nubia? Duran.
All right.
Is that a white character? What's that character? Spawn.
Are you
So
happy?
you don't have the Spawn action figure with his black face. He has to be covered. That is racist, man.
I
I
just
tried my best.
see. Don't worry.
Oh, she got it for you.
See you over here.
Shit.
See. All right. Are you happy? Are you
I
satisfied?
was torn between like three
I'm
action figures.
I'm satisfied at the moment.
Okay. So, anyways, like I said, like yeah, I don't know. Like curating your circle is something I'm not sure how I would necessarily relate that to my professional life. Like I said, I try to keep business and personal shit
Of
separate.
course.
But it does have some effect on there. But still, I feel like it's a little bit off topic at the moment.
Let's go back
Um,
on topic then. Come on.
yeah, going back to situations where code switching would like in effect be happening. Um, there are situations where, like I said, you were talking to somebody. Um, I definitely think the board meeting example I gave there, that would definitely be an example of code switching / holding professionalism. That's where I feel like it overlaps. I mean, honestly, I myself, somebody out there slanging and whatnot during a board meeting or whatever type of meeting we're having right now, I take a little bit less seriously. Like you're in there joking or this, that, and the third, doing your personality here when we're trying to have a productive conversation. I would take that a little bit less seriously than somebody who's at least, trying
What
to.
what what if there was a single mom in the board meeting cornrolling her baby's hair?
Why the hell you pulling me with this?
I got a lot of questions about that. Like, wait,
Wow.
why is the
She doesn't
baby?
have okay. I have to create a backstory. Wow. See, this is why I'm writing the stories. And okay, here's the thing. All right, she's at
Have
the
you
board
seen this?
meeting with her baby. She couldn't afford a babysitter because you don't pay her that much, and the father left. The father was just sick of her shit.
Um,
There you go. That's your backstory.
so why is she cornrowing the baby's hair during the meeting?
couldn't get past that point.
Yeah, I'm wondering why
baby
that's
got
happening.
nappy hair. Baby got nappy, just the hairs everywhere. She got to get taken care of. She ain't got enough money to get her hair did because you don't pay her that much.
I'm not sure how this is still happening during a meeting, but I probably wouldn't take
No,
this
okay, so here's
either.
the baby's butt is on the table, right?
Uh-huh.
No, you know what? The baby would have to be
Because
the
I'm
other way
perfectly
around.
fine with a kid being there if that's like, the circumstances end up, meeting out that way.
So you don't got a problem with the situation.
I don't have a problem with a kid being there, but
Cornrow the baby's hair.
I'm not sure why the baby's hair is being cornrowed in a meeting.
Because she wants the baby's hair cornrowed, and
During a meeting?
the baby got to be at preschool. Like
I'm struggling to find, like, do you have an example of this happening? Because I'm struggling to find why any sensible person would be cornrowing a baby's hair during a meeting.
I told you, the baby hair nappy, not enough time.
Anyways,
All right.
I don't think we can provide an answer for this scenario. So
I would consider it not to be professional, so you can do it on our own time, or maybe after the meeting.
okay.
We have a bathroom where you can just lay the baby on the table and the cornrow the baby there. I know it's a changing table, but anyway, go on.
This scenario is weird.
I'm in 2050 right now. You're still in 2021.
Right. Sure. Like I said, I have no problem with kids being at work if you don't have a babysitter. That happens in, universities all the time. You don't.
Yeah, but this is a board meeting.
I mean, even if that were to happen, like if you have to take your kid to
you
work.
don't want the baby knowing company secrets, these trade secrets.
I'm good with that, actually. Anyways, what'd you call it? What other situations would code switching happen? What do you think? Like actual legitimate code switching.
You said the board meeting. I'm going to say perhaps showing around a client to the products,
Definitely.
So you might want to present yourself as a bit professional, that you know everything and all that.
Right. Way less personality there. I mean, well, it depends. Like when I was in Batteries Plus, I was definitely way more personality driven. And
I mean, it's Batteries Plus. Come on.
That's a high selling store, man.
I know, but you're also a brother. Come on. If I go into a Batteries Plus and I see them and be like, yo, nigga, hook me up with the new, what's the phone called? Nokia? Nokia?
That's not what we do at Batteries Plus, sir.
You don't sell phones at Batteries Plus?
No, we sell phone batteries. This is a Wendy's.
And that's a business?
I mean, honestly, yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. I thought you guys just sold phones and maybe swapped out the batteries and fixed stuff. Like, y'all just sell batteries. Okay, cool.
I mean, we fix phones and shit, but we don't sell.
Well, if that's the case, if y'all just selling batteries, it's not like y'all creating, important stuff. I should be able to come and be like, yo, hook a brother up with a new battery. Like,
see, that's the sign of an ignorant nigga, because he doesn't know how important batteries really are. You don't understand how important batteries are.
I need a battery for my Samsung. Hook me up,
do you know how many batteries I sold to the military? For their weapons. You know how many batteries?
Oh, so it's not just cell phones.
No, there's a lot of batteries.
So like, you sell it. You created warhead batteries too. Wow. Okay.
I've sold batteries. For
you dangerous
boats. I've sold batteries for trucking companies. I've sold batteries for elevators
too.
Probably. I don't know.
Damn.
Probably. Yeah.
My respect for you went from here to here now.
Oh yeah, I was the bad motherfucker. Like I said, but in that store, like I had a more personality-driven sales approach, which, didn't require proper enunciation or anything like that. It was something more along the lines of trying to be personable to the customer and get the sale. And
did you ever say thank you to your service? Thank you for your service to a veteran?
No.
Oh wow. That's not professional. Wow.
I don't say that. I don't.
You always have to say thank you for your service, sir.
No, I mean, a lot of the times people came in and mentioned their military service, and I gave them 10% off. But I'm not gonna sit here and salute you. Yeah, that wasn't.
You didn't do like, Thank you, Captain America.
I was like, I don't know.
See,
who the fuck
we
you
talking
are.
about professionalism. I would have had a little bit of fun. I said, man, walk up to me, say, "Hey, you." So I served in the military. I'm a veteran. I'd be like, "And you still alive?"
That's fucking crazy. You're fucking wild. You will get your ass fired. Like I said, for me, it's actually really cool. I actually got to meet one of the band of brothers. That was a World War II pilot. I actually got to
Do you
meet.
have a picture of him and you on Instagram?
Why would I have a picture?
It didn't happen if you didn't put it on Instagram.
I mean, dude, whatever.
It gotta be on the gram.
It's fucking for who? I don't do all that shit. All right. See, my photos are inactive on Instagram.
I'm thinking about privatizing my Instagram. I can't be having crazy people looking at my personal stuff.
With as much crazy shit you say, trust me, they're gonna be coming to your inbox right now.
Oh, shit.
Eh,
Well, for as long as it takes you to put out a podcast, I got at least 3 months.
Yeah, whatever. Shit. Like I said, I don't what you call it, but that was another example of professionalism that didn't require any quote unquote code switching. Like these are what I'm trying to say in the summarizing this is that professionalism and being black are not mutually exclusives.
I agree.
You can absolutely be both at any given time. There are situations where it's going to take less personality. It definitely is and I mean that in probably the most neutral way I could possibly say. There are moments where you're going to have to quote unquote tone it down and try to send a message via how you present yourself. And a lot of times when that moment
but I think that's his point. I hate how Duran's not here because I didn't want to ask him this, but I think that's his point. If at any point that you need to tone it down, then you're pretty much conforming to what might be considered a Eurocentric standard.
Do you think that there are moments do you think that there are no moments that exist where you should tone it down?
No.
Like say if you meet your girlfriend's parents, and are you going to be making the same jokes you make, like the one you made in our non-existent previous take?
You really want to get into this? Because I've met parents of my girlfriend.
I mean, I'll talk about your current one right now.
I'm not wild, all right, I do make certain comments to let them know, hey, this is what I'm like, and I'm fucking your daughter right now. So what you?
Oh, you say that? You say that? You say that to them?
Not in those
words. Oh, okay. So you code switch.
Oh no, I don't code switch. But keep in mind, I may not be as talkative, but that has nothing to do with code switching and professionalism. That has to do with scanning the room and getting to know people.
That's code switching. You sell out.
Except once I get to know you, like if I don't know you, then I probably won't say nothing to you. But if I'm introduced to you, I'm gonna be myself. Simple as that.
Okay, so you act the exact same way as you are right now. Like say your current girlfriend right now, you meet her parents.
Oh boy,
are you gonna change up the behavior and tone it down a little bit?
Her mom seemed like she gonna kill me. Her mom seemed like she gonna kill me.
So you sell out. Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say it's survival.
Okay. That's code switching. Say you have a job interview, you're going to a job interview with, say, an accounting firm.
Brazzers.
I don't think. Well, I've seen a few interviews on.
They're professional. These porn stars are professional as hell.
Right. I've seen a few casting couch interviews that went pretty well.
I'm sure you've seen a lot.
I've seen a couple. So, what you call it?
You should stop watching. You should stop watching porn. All right. You have a very faithful lady. You need to devote all your time and energy to her.
What are you talking? Anyways, like I said, let's say you're getting an interview at an accounting firm. How are you going to present yourself?
Accounting firm. I don't even know what that job entails. I've never had a job at accounting.
You're going to be punching numbers in a fucking keyboard. Okay. It's just pretend you're
Do
gonna
I know
type
the
it.
manager? Do I know who I'm
No,
working
you don't.
for?
Nope, this is a totally new dude.
Are they black?
They're Hispanic.
What kind of Hispanic?
Nigga, they
Honduran. Look, it doesn't
No, I need
matter.
to know what kind of Hispanic, because there are
Okay,
Hispanics.
okay.
There are Hispanics who are cool, and there are Hispanics who try to be
Nigga, it
white.
doesn't
I think
fucking
we can all
matter.
agree to that.
What the fuck? Okay, he's Dominican. Okay,
He's
there.
Dominican.
Yeah.
All right. He's
So how are
Dominican.
you gonna go into
How's
that
his hair?
interview?
How's his hair though? How's his hair? Like, does he have his hair styled? Is
Man,
it
don't
bald?
fucking matter. It,
I'm
he
just
got a
trying to
clean
get
ass
some
cut.
details
He got a
here.
clean cut, unlike
Got
you.
clean
All right?
cut.
So
Beard.
it's shaped up. All right.
The chin strap, like in that George
It
Lopez
doesn't
episode when George
fucking
Lopez had
matter.
the chin
Yeah,
strap.
sure. Yeah, all that. Whatever gets you
If
hard.
he has
all
the
right?
chin strap,
So,
I'll be like, hey, what's up? Hey.
so you're gonna go into an interview and say
I'm
that.
gonna say what's up, but hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Oh, okay. So you
I'm not gonna say how are you doing. I'm gonna say how you doing. How you doing?
okay. I mean, most people say that.
HOW'Re. How
Okay.
you doing?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And you're gonna
Middle ground.
you're gonna speak in this. Are you gonna be dropping slang? Are you gonna be making inappropriate jokes?
If he makes one, I'm making one.
Fair enough. I mean, I've
You
done
have
it
to
before.
match the energy. If he's like, man, my wife just doesn't like giving head, I'm be like, you know how these bitches be, sir.
not with the sir at the end.
Have you ever been in a job interview? I'm just asking.
I don't think
I'm asking. Have you ever been in a job interview?
like a in
A
person
real
or
job
virtual?
interview.
In virtual. What do you mean real job? It is in person or virtual? Answer my question. In person or virtual?
Yes.
In person or virtual?
Both. Okay.
Virtual, yes. Plenty of them. Virtual, yes. In person,
Plenty of them.
no. I'm too shy. I'm too shy to be in person.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Like, what if the person that being interviewed by has these big old titties? I'm gonna be looking at the titties. That has happened once before at the DMV, where the woman's talking to me. She's talking about the test, and I'm just looking at the titties. Like, damn, that's some nice ass titties.
I can have
True
you
story, facts.
okay, I just have
can
a
ask
question.
any of my
Have you
family members this happened.
have you had a job before? Like a 9 to 5?
Working for work? No, hell no.
Oh,
no.
okay. I'm just making sure. Okay, so yeah,
I've been
like I said,
working.
we're gonna save a lot of those questions for part 2.
I've been working since I'm trying to see 12 for 13 for myself. So nah, I don't know what that life is like. Keep in mind, I'm also a trust fund baby, so I will never know what that life is like.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely
Must suck.
save
It must
that,
it
that
must
those
suck.
types
I
of
hear
questions
stories.
for
It
part
must suck.
2, because
Yeah,
part
it
1,
must.
it's just me and you.
Because
I've
y'all
been
be
working-
talking about how tired you are, and I'm just like, all right, so I got to give this guy X amount of DVDs that I've burned. All right, cool. And I got to give this guy Sony Vegas Platinum, but not 12. Got to give him 13. So, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, like I've been working since I was 16. I've been in job interview after job interview after job interview. So I know the deal. It doesn't matter who's been interviewing me. I've
See,
come in
that's the
same.
problem. That's what Duran is trying to teach us, that you can't be working for the white man. You got to do things on your own, because that's the only way you can achieve true professionalism inside.
I think this is a dangerous mindset, to be honest. Like I just feel like this is backwards thinking. Where
How is it backwards thinking? Do you like working at your job right now?
it pays the bills.
But do you like it? Do you like it? Does it tickle your fancy?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
How long are you gonna be working at that job?
Probably a few more years.
Few more years.
Mm-hmm.
Past 30.
Sure, why not?
So you fine with working with the white man?
I mean,
white man's in Hawaii right now with his Hispanic woman, probably 2 Hispanic women now.
I know this
4
is difficult.
kids
I know
just
this is
running
difficult
around
for
on the
you,
beach.
somebody who has their dad own a duplex, but I got bills.
Damn.
I know this is difficult. It's a tough concept.
I wait, what are bills?
I mean, shit, something I gotta pay.
You have to pay bills?
Yeah, that shit's
What
tough.
the hell?
I know, right? Like I said, like, most people in
Hey,
this
that
world,
is ridiculous.
that shit is crazy,
We
right?
should be given everything straight out the womb. Like that should be
Right.
our reparations, right? We
Man,
should be
until that day comes, I'm gonna have to work until I can get this business off the ground.
not if we start robbing these white people.
I didn't
Anyway,
say
back to our discussion
whoa, I didn't say that shit.
professionalism. See,
Like I
I
said,
couldn't say that in an interview. I couldn't be like to the boss, man. I think we should rob these crackers. I can't say that
you
to the
can't say that in
boss.
an interview. That
I
is
can't
code
say it.
switching.
That's not
That is a lot
professional.
of code switching. Yeah, that I
That's
would
not
never.
professional.
That is very unprofessional. I don't.
Unless the boss is like boss takes out,
I mean,
some ganja. It's like,
unless he gives you
man,
coordinates and tells you to be here at a certain time, I don't think
eh,
that's gonna go over well.
you got a lot. Here's the thing: you go to some places, the manager's robbing the store. All right,
I've actually been
getting good with the manager.
actually fun.
That's right.
I
You worked at
know
Wendy's. That's right. So you know about it. You know about it.
I've known about a lot of shit that happened
So
in
if that's
Wendy's.
your boss, then you know what's up.
I mean, I had a boss who was the manager, John, and if you hit overtime, he would change your hours. It's
Like I said,
pretty fucking crazy.
professionalism is all about what's relative. I'm
Sure.
sure when you worked at Wendy's in the back room, you saw a couple of people fucking. All right.
Never saw it. I know about it happening.
Okay, because it happens. It
Oh,
happens.
it happens. It happens.
All
It happens
right.
in the bathroom. It happens. Yeah. I already know about that. I know one girl blew the manager in the freezer in the walk-in,
Uh-huh.
which is crazy
Now was
because
that manager being professional?
I mean he promoted her.
Mm.
So
So to both of them,
he was
relative.
acting in his professional capacity. So that
And he hasn't been written up or none. So
I mean he was
it.
the fucking GM.
Free my man Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby ain't do none.
I don't condone that one. Woo, I don't condone that one at all. Ooh, watch your mouth.
Women coming 30 years later. Come on.
Oh God, watch your mouth. Ooh, we don't condone Cosby out here. We don't do that. Not over
He
these
made
parts.
Fat Albert. He made Fat Albert.
We don't do that around these parts. We don't
A
do that
different
here.
world.
We don't do that here. Anyways, I said we don't do that here. Not no Cosby, not today.
Jello pudding.
Not today. But anywho, okay, it is relative to one's environment. I think that this has been a pretty interesting discussion on, professionalism so far, and can't wait to see what the next part brings when I get more people in there.
How far can we go with this discussion? Like what more topics are we gonna discuss?
Well, there is a few more scenarios we can discuss, and more questions as to how we would define, because clearly there is a quote unquote European standard for professionalism. So we can do as we did previously with, the Wall Street.
Are we going to invite a white person?
No, but we're going to build a vision of what we would consider Black professionalism.
Black professionalism.
We'll go ahead and build that vision, because clearly that's something that exists in people's minds. Or perhaps the concept of Black people being professional is just incompatible in some people's minds, and there's just no way that
twerking on the table.
I'm not sure that would be considered professional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
You should have seen those comments. There was quite a few Black folks like, if you didn't want them twerking, then don't play twerk music. I'm like, that's not the point. Don't play Lil Jon if you don't want them twerking. That's not the point. You're not supposed to be twerking on the table.
That is true. Some of those comments are fucking ridiculous. Like I said, I want to get more in depth as to what others.
Black folks can't control themselves when the music comes on.
The beat just infects us.
The ancestors the spirits of the ancestors just start coming inside of us. Like, oh.
Like what I want to do in the next part is just come closer to an idea of what other people would consider professionalism, and what some people can do to combat what would be seen as anti-Blackness in professionalism or a professional culture, because I feel like we shouldn't have a disagreement on the idea that Black people can be professional. So more of that coming on the next time. But for now, we're going to be signing out.
Yeah.
So always the host here, Gold Will.
For now, until I take over. With your boy Electronic Jack, aka Lynn with Storm, aka the Mac with the facts from Black Grindhouse.
And we're going to see you guys next time on the part 2. Peace out.
Peace out.